I got my interest with scuba diving when I was very young and watching TV shows on scuba diving. Really interesting to me to see those guys diving on the television shows. And so later on in high school, my next door neighbor and I found a scuba training shop in downtown Salt Lake City, and we went down there and we took the lessons. It was also, I think it was about a 15-week course, and we had so much fun that before we even got our certification license, we bought all of our gear, and then we got our license, and we went diving locally twice a month for many years. Most of the people that get certified as a scuba diver don't dive in Utah. They use their certification to travel out into the oceans to enhance their vacations. But there are a few die-hard scuba divers that have fun and cold and a little bit more murky water and stuff because of the different things we can find, and it's just kind of fun to go out and explore through some of the different lakes in Utah. Well, Fish Lake is a fun place because of the artifacts that we find, and there's a couple of warm springs lakes that are very unique to Utah. One of them is called Blue Lake out by Wendover, and it's a pretty good sized lake. It's about the size of a great big parking lot. It's about 60 feet deep, and at the bottom of the lake where the hot springs come into the lake, it's pretty unique. It kind of looks like moon craters, and at the bottom of each crater is a hot springs where the water is around 80-85 degrees, and it's a lot of fun to go down and explore through that and go into those hot pots. And so Blue Lake is pretty unique. As far as diving in Utah, we do have some lakes that are pretty fun. Down by Richfield in the middle of Utah, there's a place called Fish Lake. It's about 9,000 or 10,000 feet in elevation, so it's really cold, but we've been very successful by finding some very old glass bottles and some old fishing poles and tackle boxes and stuff like that. So, and Fish Lake is pretty clear. The challenges of diving in fresh water and inland is probably two of them. One is temperature. It's cold, and the other one would be visibility. All the sediment at the bottom of the lakes and reservoirs stir up very easily because of the turbulence of our fins, and it makes visibility pretty murky in some places, so we have to be careful of that. But one of my most challenging jobs I've ever done was up in the ski resort of Snowbird. There's a bunch of old silver mines up there that now just streams go through them, and their project was to build a power plant in these old mine shafts, and the water that goes through them would turn the generator so they could make their own electricity. So we were hired to go back in there and do some different work and things, and things didn't go well. It didn't go as planned, and we got into some unforeseen circumstances, some bad currents, bad visibility, and we got ourselves into a big mess and a big jam. And as I teach all of my students, that if there's anything that ever goes wrong, the solution to that would be to stop what you're doing and think about the problem and then solve it. And those three things definitely came out in my thinking, and that's how we got out of that deal without any injury. it really is a fun sport, and until people can actually put scuba gear on and try it out in the swimming pool, sometimes they are going to miss out on a really fun sport.